everybody's mics on. I'll try to lean in. I get feedback sometimes that I lean back and talk softly. Is everybody able to hear? Okay, I know we have more people than typical meeting. Okay. First order of business is pledge allegiance, if you don't mind. Okay, thank you. Welcome to the October 12th, 2021 meeting of the Manchester Town Council. We do have a full, we have a quorum, we have full membership here. We are missing our Director of Public Works. I'm sorry, Director of Finance.
Kelly.
I'm misspeaking already. We have our Director of Public Works. We do not have Ms. Kelly Baldwin, our Director of Finance. If anything comes up that is a follow-up item for her, we'll get that back to her. First order of business, approval of the September 14th, 2021 minutes. You should have a copy in front of you. They're also sent out. Do we have any additions or corrections to the minutes?
I'll make a motion. We approve the September 14th, 2021 minutes as printed.
I'll second that.
Motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, we're going to, as a typical meeting, we would go through some of the financial documents. We're going to postpone that until November at this point when our Director of Finance is here. So we'll move into the Mayor's report. And lucky for everybody here, I actually have a little bit more than usual. So I'll move through this stuff as quickly as I can, get the information out. Yard waste pickup has been going every Wednesday. That will continue through November 24th. As a reminder, these are grass clippings, leaves, small branches not in excess of 3 feet or 4 inches. Please don't mix it with mulch, trash, pet waste, those sort of things, and have it curbside Thursday evening for Friday's pickup. They move pretty quickly in the morning on Fridays. They should be in containers or craft bags, no plastic bags, so that the guys can get that efficiently. Water bills are out. They are due October 30th, not October 31st, one of those weird months where it's not actually the last day of the month, but it's the 30th. Free Community Shred Day, October 16th. That's coming right up, 2 to 4 p.m., located at Gary Plaza, right next to Sheets. Also accepting some cash donations there for community needs. Brush pickup, October 19th, again coming up. So these would be some larger items, and this can be in a pile, not to exceed 4 feet, 4 inches in width, 8 feet in length. So these would be some branches and things that may have come down. Bulk trash is the next day, so we're into that fall bulk trash pickup, October 20th. Please call Hughes. We need the number. You can probably find it, or we can give it to you. That way they can give you any special instructions, and they're also aware that it is there. We're moving into leaf pickup season. You're probably starting to see the leaves starting to come down. That will start October 25th, so 2 weeks from now, and continue through Monday, December 6th. Halloween's right around the corner. Last meeting we have here before Halloween, that's October 31st. There's a discussion every year, and we get questions every year, but whether or not it's Saturday or October 31st. We recognize it here on October 31st, and again, that's so that we can have our police out in full force, trying to keep the neighborhoods safe, speed down, and that sort of thing. We have a lot of folks come from outside Manchester to trick-or-treat within Manchester. 6:30 to 8:30 is a designated time. That's when we'll have the police out in each neighborhood. Typically children 12 years old or younger in costume. If you don't want to participate, please turn off your house lights so that you don't get unwanted traffic there. Congratulations are in order to Mr. Caleb Matthews here in town, his wife Alex, and the birth of their first child, Landon. Everybody's doing well. And then 2 things. Today I attended, I guess since our last meeting, attended the Maryland Municipal League Carroll County Chapter and Mayor's meeting. More to come on that soon. And then today was the fall MML conference. It's a 2-day conference. I attended 1 day down at Turf Valley in Howard County. We got a certificate of appreciation for helping with the organization. The Carroll County Chapter was one of the sponsors. Some good information, coming out of that. There were some reminders on open meetings laws and those sort of things as that evolves with things like social media. So you're advised to create a separate social media. If you're going to use social media for town business, to create a separate one and not intermingle those. That was kind of one of the big takeaways today. I think that's it. Oh, Miss Lorraine Thomas. I don't think, is she here today? I don't see her. So we have two vacancies on the Ethics Board?
We do.
One, okay.
Yes, sir.
You have two vacancies on the Ethics Board. Miss Lorraine Thomas has volunteered to fill one of those vacancies. I wanted to see if there were, any concerns. Some of you may know her. She has run for public office before. So I think, in my opinion, and town administrator and I met and discussed it, that she'd be a solid fill-in for one of those two vacancies. So if there's not any objections, we'll move forward with that over the next month and ask her to come in to be sworn in, probably at this meeting next month. Also, if there's anybody else in the community that would like to fill a vacancy on the Ethics Board, please let us know. We can talk to you about the requirements and what the duties would look like. I think that is all I have. I think I moved through that pretty quickly. Turn to our town administrator for town administrator's report.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor and Council, members of the community. We'll review the September 2021 administrative report. I did omit two items, the opioid and the AT&T lease. We have no movement on either one of those. So under pending items, the sale and settlement of 3215 Long Lane took place on Friday, 10/8/21, so that's out of the way. Ordinance number 248, that's in regards to Chapter 220. Research is still in progress on that. Ordinance 249 and 250 are both agenda items. They'll be coming up later on the agenda. The email notification list development, we're looking into 4 companies: Everbridge, Direct Mail, Constant Contact, and Easy Texting. And I'd like to reach out to Councilperson Richardson because I'd like to maybe meet one day over the next several weeks and get together and make some moves on that. Under Code Enforcement and Zoning, you have in front of you the monthly Code Enforcement update. The Lippy Old Town property, the kickoff meeting for the work group is tentatively scheduled for October 19th. Didn't receive anything back today. I was supposed to receive something back later. I think we all were. And I didn't receive anything yet. But right now it's October 19th. Time to be determined. Miscellaneous items. Under our cybersecurity assessment, we interviewed 2 companies. Proposal was signed with Choice Cybersecurity. So they're going to start on that any day. The American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA funding. Our DPW reps met with reps from CLSI in regards to firming up the original plans and development of the request for proposal for the water main replacement projects, which includes High Street, Wirtz Avenue, New Street, and Grafton Street, and also portions of Maiden Lane. On September 22nd, the town did receive probably, which is the final draft discharge permit for the wastewater treatment plant and spray irrigation facility. We have been in contact with our engineering firm. We're getting ready to compose a letter. They won a couple battles. We won a couple battles, so back and forth. But I can almost guarantee you that this will be probably the last draft that you'll see, and the final will be the final. On October 7th, the County Commissioner signed onto the Stormwater Management Memorandum of Agreement, which includes all 8 municipalities in the county, and that was a huge hurdle, and that is a very good thing for both the county and the municipalities, especially the municipalities. That will be perpetual. This will be the last signing, and we're very happy to get that out of the way. The MDOT SHA tour meeting will be held virtually on Thursday, October 21st at 1 p.m. I will send that out to everyone so you have a copy. I cannot make it that day, so it's virtual, so if anybody can make it, it would be great if you could sign on. That's it for me. Any questions?
Any update on some of the properties on Main Street, sort of like the laundromat that's been sitting the way that it is, and the liquor store?
Right. We contacted the county on the laundromat, and there's a time period that person has to do something with the property, whether to renovate. It's possible he's waiting on insurance money. I can't say that for sure, but there is a time period, and we're well aware of that. The old number 1 North building, we have not seen any transfer of property. It has been rumored that it has been sold, but we have not seen anything for a transfer here at Town Hall.
Okay. And no idea whether that's even on the market or.
It was on the market.
It's not on the market now.
Right, exactly,
Okay.
yes.
Fine, we got a lot of buildings like that, and I guess in town, it's
Absolutely right.
not looking good.
You're absolutely right.
Thanks, Stevie.
Yep. Any other questions?
So Steve, just as a follow-up, you did mention the county commissioner signing the stormwater management memorandum of agreement. The mayor's also met on September 16th, and we signed that
Yes,
in
that
advance.
is
I
correct.
omitted that for my unintentionally.
Yeah, that was a very good move for the county and the municipalities. Very happy with that.
Any other questions for the town administrator? All right, turn it over to Director of Public Works.
All right, Mayor and Council, please see the water and wastewater data report for September. The Manchester Security Assessment through Homeland Security. The water facility portion of this was completed in June. Our sewer facility assessment occurred last week, and the report is expected shortly. The York Water Tower, AT&T, and T-Mobile antenna modifications, nothing new to report on this. The emergency response plan revisions, our staff revised the ERP in accordance with an EPA mandate. This is mandated for every 5 years, so we're good for 5 years from now, and we're at 100% complete on that. Park Avenue Water Tower Rehab Project, we're at 100% complete. Finally got it done. The outside contractor finished up their housekeeping items, and our town staff completed the interior work. The Delwell Interior Piping Rehab Project, this was awarded to First Class Mechanical last month. Project schedule is pending at this time. There's a lead time of 10 to 12 weeks on the materials. Also, along with this, the town staff will be doing interior work. Okay, Steve mentioned this. The Manchester Waterline Replacement Project, 2 areas are included with the scope of this project. The first area is High Street, Wirtz Avenue, New Street, and Maiden Lane. And the second area is the south end of Graphene Street, Oak Street, and Locust Street with a proposed loop. We met with our design engineer on the 29th of September to finalize the construction plans. Our aim is to have this project moving forward early spring. And as Steve mentioned, the engineer's Carroll Services Incorporated. The wastewater treatment plant ENR upgrade and optional expansion, PER. The submission has been moved from September out to late October. We had a lightning strike at the wastewater treatment plant Monday night, the 4th. We had electrical equipment and software damage, and I just want to say great job to our field staff for keeping things up and going that night and the next day till we got some of this software stuff straightened out. Monreal Street, Graphene Street, Stormwater Management Outfall Rehab. This was awarded last month to Stanballs Incorporated. We're waiting on a project schedule from the contractor at this time. The street and town facility asphalt rehab projects and inspection services. Also waiting on a schedule from this contractor. It was awarded last month to CJ Miller and WBCM as the inspector. I did have a pre-construction meeting the 1st of October on this. Lastly, we had a Cub Scout group do some repairs at the Pine Valley Park off of Walnut Street. They repaired 2 picnic tables, did some stonework around and under the tables. If you've never been down there, it's the 2 tables next to the pond, and they just did an excellent job. I just want to thank this group for doing such a nice job. And that's all I have. Any questions? And I have no action items tonight.
That lightning strike, was it 4 p.m. or 4 a.m.?
I think it was the 4th.
Oh,
It was the 4th, the night of the 4th.
Okay, I got it. I misheard that. Any questions for Director of Public Works? All right, move over to police report. Chief?
Yes, sir. For the month of September, your police department handled 185 events, 24 of which were for areas outside of town, mainly Hampstead. We did have one officer injured during a scuffle in Hampstead. He received cuts and abrasions on his arms and his legs. That suspect was apprehended without further incident, and the officer is okay. We had 3 Part 1 crimes, all of which involve thefts. They're minor. They would be what I would call isolated. One, we believe, is involving a girlfriend and a boyfriend. The other one we have cleared by an arrest, and the other one's open, but we're pretty confident we're going to clear that one as well. In addition to the thefts, we did handle we're actually in the middle of an assault investigation that involves our football teams from North Carroll and Olney football leagues. 2 have been criminally charged. We presented 3 more to be criminally charged. The state's attorney is going to review the case. They're reviewing the video footage, and hopefully they're going to get back to us by the conclusion of this week. There was also a reported stabbing that gained attention in the community. From what I'm understanding, the ringtones had gone haywire, thinking that there was a person running around the neighborhood. That all turned out to be a false report. It was 2 juveniles. They got themselves in a little mix-up with a knife. They panicked because the kid wasn't supposed to have the knife. So they concocted this story, but unfortunately it called police and fire services from all over the county because we started a search for the suspect. That was totally non-existent. So that case has been referred to juvenile services for the false report. The other crimes consist of a domestic assault and a reported child abuse, and both have been cleared. Traffic enforcement, we've issued 566 warning citations and repair orders, resulting in persons being criminally charged for 2 DUIs and 5 other traffic violations. The number of overdoses year to date is 313 countywide. There is still a 5% increase, 48 fatalities. There's been an 18% increase in that area, and the municipalities account for Manchester 4, Hampstead 12, Sykesville 6, Tawnytown 22, Mount Airy 9, Westminster 112, New Windsor 2, and areas that they call MSP is 20. And the best way to describe that, if you go to the circle right around where Walmart is, Walmart's MSP, the other side's Hampstead, and the other side's the sheriff's office. So it's kind of a weird division up here. So the MSP areas account for 20. And that's about it. Charlotte's Quest, not to steal Councilman Howe's thunder there, they're going to have their Halloween trail. We will be present. We're going to give the area special attention. We're expecting a pretty good turnout. It sounds like it's going to be a nice event.
A lot of tickets have been sold already.
Yep. And as the mayor stated, on Halloween, we will be out and in the neighborhoods. And I believe the fire department's going to join us as well. And that's about it.
Any questions for the chief?
Chief, it was good to hear about that, I guess, false report of the stabbing. I actually got a ring text message on the evening of the 24th saying that there was a stabbing reported, avoid the area.
Right.
So I think that definitely, elicited some panic and all in the town. So, but
Yes.
So that is at least one good news. We were troubled to hear of the event at the football field on town property. You and I have talked to Steve, talked to Ryan, and I think we're all, as a town, we're looking to have assurances that those kind of events aren't tolerated from the football team. I had the director actually reached out to me today. I know you've spoken to him as well, so I think you've been pretty confident that that's being accurately addressed, at least so incidents like that don't happen in the future, because that's not something I think we can sanction as a community, as a town. I mean, those types of things aren't welcome in our town. So
Yes, sir.
So I think that's good, and I will say the town council, everyone up here, I think is united to make sure that a certain standard is met, especially on events on our property. So
For sure.
but thank you, and thank you for your guys for dealing with that.
Yes, sir.
Yep, well said, David, and I think more to come on that as that develops, yeah, it's, things are still in process there, from what I understand. Any other questions for the chief? Well, best of luck with Thanksgiving, I'm
Don't
all over
rush
the
it.
place today with Halloween. I'll see you again before Thanksgiving. You know, that's one of those nights where I know I probably call you every, November 1st.
Right.
Or texting you at night, we still good? And so we have a good record of being out there in the community, but it's just one of those, a lot of young ones running around in the dark and, a lot of cars getting in and out. And so it's just one of those nights where you hope,
A lot of people from the state of Pennsylvania,
yeah.
a whole lot.
So, yeah, good luck, you know, let's have another successful one and get everybody home safe with their bag of candy. All right, next two are, I guess kind of handles one, there's been an ongoing discussion with fees. We have ordinance 249, which we'll handle these separately as far as any action items. Ordinance 250. Ordinance 249 is the safety service fee, which is an impact fee on new building. We really haven't changed a lot of fees in close to 20 years. I think the safety service fee was 2004. It was $350 per each equivalent dwelling. And the park service fee was $200, and that was set in 2002. So the purpose of these fees is to address infrastructure over time needs. So as the community grows some, the town is able to develop a fund, put those fees away, and then as needs increase, whether it's an additional police car, yes, maybe something we don't know, and we're starting to like electronic signs, those sort of things, and then the park fees would be things that the park behind us here, Charlotte's Quest, any of the other parks, so that we're able to better address any of the needs of the park as we have a growing population and uses change. So we'll handle those one at a time. 249, safety service fee, changes it from $350 per new unit to $1,500 per new unit. I was not at last month's meeting. My understanding is this was introduced. Have we received any comments on the safety service fee?
I have received none. I don't believe our office did, no.
Anybody heard anything? No. Is anybody here tonight? There's a lot of people here tonight. Is anybody here tonight here to speak on the safety service fee, ordinance 249? Rather than make you wait till after a vote, I'll let you speak now. Are you on safety service fee?
I want to ask what it is.
Safety service fee is a fund so that we can address, I try to give some examples. Uses in the past have been improvements to the police station, and additional police cars. So if we add a police officer, which we've done periodically over a couple of decades, went from 4 to 5 to 6, there's an upfront cost to that. So our methodology in the past has been to use the safety service fee for the upfront cost of adding, let's say, a new police officer, car, equipment, uniform, those sort of things, but then address the ongoing operating expenses through regular general fund revenue. Does that answer your question? And the fire department. And the fire department as well.
You have to pay it every day or every time you call the police?
No, and I know you're not at the microphone. No, you don't, this isn't a per use fee, this is an impact fee based for new development. So if you build a new home, there's those impact fees that, are listed. Does that answer your question? Okay.
Yes, thank you.
So just for the record, the question was on, just an explanation on what the safety service fee was. So anybody else here to speak on the safety service fee? Okay, hearing none, is there any other discussion amongst the council or staff? We've kind of been through this one for a few months. Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve ordinance 249, 2021, moving the safety service fee from $350 to $1,500 for new construction for per equivalent dwelling?
I'll make said motion.
I'll second the motion.
Motion is second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Ordinance 250, 2021, similar thing, so to anybody that may have a question, this is for the park service fees. So again, for infrastructure, it's per new dwelling, not something that you would pay, that anybody that lives here, would pay. Anybody here to speak on the park service fee? Steve, do we receive any feedback on this one? Any comments come in?
Did not.
Anybody receive anything? I didn't. No. All right. Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve ordinance 250, 2021, moving the park service fee from $200 per new dwelling to $1,000?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
We have a motion second. Any other discussion? None, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries unanimously. All right, we're going to go to questions, comments from the community. I suspect that's why most of you are here. Just as a few reminders, for the most part, I'm going to go with folks that have signed up, the sign-in sheet. You don't have to speak. Sometimes people sign up thinking it's an attendance. This is really to sign up. Now, if anybody would like to speak that did not sign up, we'll do that at the end. If you have an agenda, there are some general rules, things to keep in mind. I'd like to let everybody speak before you have a second chance. We limit the time to about a minute so that you can kind of get to your point and let everybody know where you're at, unless there's a question or some other extending discussion. So with that, we'll head into this. And please excuse me if I mess up anybody's name, because I'll do my best to read them. Mr. Phil Miller. No?
Phil Miller.
Getting old, Your Honor, I didn't.
Oh, you're good. If you don't mind, just so that everybody here knows that some of you I haven't seen before in a while. We're mic'd up here. Where you're at is not highly mic'd. So just for the record, because they do save these, if you don't mind stating your name into the microphone, and then the floor is yours.
Thank you for the honor to speak. This raising of the fee from $20 to $200 for each apartment unit we have is quite excessive. Basically, we cannot afford to not pass that along to the tenants. Last year with COVID, we lost $5,000 because we couldn't evict people that didn't pay their rent. So there's no way that I can absorb the $200 without passing it along to my tenants. Now, my tenants, none of them are on HUD. They're all either retired or working people. And I just think this is excessive. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Scout Nouse?
I don't have anything.
Okay. You just signed in. Mr. Robert Hartman?
I don't have anything this time.
Okay. Miss Sandra Bittinger?
I just thought we had to sign in, but I have this.
Okay. Would you?
Thank you.
This one's kindly cursive, so is it Miss Brandy Johnson?
I am here to support my, all my attendants that are back at home, and I think it is not fair to, help, sorry for my son, but they are back home, and I'm here to support my landlord, John. And I do think it's not good to have people that, they should lose their homes back at home, and not be able to afford it.
Okay, for the record, that was Brandy Johnson, opposed to the fee changes. Jessica Smith?
Hey, Brian, turn your mic on.
Turned it off when I called. Thank you.
All right, so I read online it was 2 minutes. I'm gonna try to make it 1 minute. Good evening. I'm a property manager and a member of the Carroll County Landlords Association, and I'm here tonight about the 1,000% increase in the rental housing licenses. While I understand that a housing license helps to keep you, the town, communicated as to who owns the property with the water bills, taxes, property issues, and police, I'm concerned that this huge increase is going to create unneeded rental increases to the tenants. A small percentage of landlords, I understand why you might want to have a license, but I do believe that there's a larger percentage that provide fair, affordable housing for many people that would not be able to own their own homes. Those kind of landlords don't deserve such an increase. I work very hard every day to live by a mission statement that our management company has created to provide not only affordable housing, but also safe, well-maintained, and cared-for properties. This increase will give us no choice but to raise the rent on tenants who may not be able to purchase their own homes. Landlords and agents like myself are here tonight, as you see, and they want to provide affordable housing. But when you raise this to 1,000%, basically, it's going to make that difficult. So I would respectfully ask the mayor and town council to look at what's been done in other towns and cities here in Carroll County and to consider repealing this fee and to form a committee of local landlords as well as town officials to review the current program and create a program that is not discriminatory to landlords, and that those who do not follow the licensing program are penalized appropriately. With an increase of 1,000%, that does not seem like a very reasonable standard increase. And I'm sure that there would be plenty of landlords happy to help you review the current program, as that has been done in other areas of Carroll County. This fee will not only be an issue, as it will most likely need to be charged to the tenants, as well as a rental increase, but it will also create good landlords to not want to purchase rental properties here in the area and possibly leave many vacant units, like number 1 North, who's sat vacant for a very long time, empty throughout the whole town. So I would ask the council and the mayor tonight, what is the justification for such an immense increase of 1,000%, and what can be done as a landlord, property management, or even a member of the Carroll County Landlords Association to work with the town of Manchester to come to a better agreement for all parties involved? Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm having a hard time with the first, it looks like the last name maybe is Brooke, B-W. Yes, sir. Okay, do you mind coming up?
Thank you. I'm having a hard time seeing. I need new glasses. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Miller. We've spoken, but I'm a landlord in Carroll County, and I'm disappointed. I'm a good landlord. We operate our properties neatly, cleanly, and we work by a whole different code of ethics than the problems that you're facing. This bill, which even by Baltimore City standards, even by Washington, D.C. standards, to change this fast and this quick after COVID, and it's with no phase-in, this is a shortcut, quick solution that does not solve anything. This does not encourage good landlords. It alienates reasonable people. And I understand your problems with your service calls with the police and your 161 license units with, 350 apartments, and the amount of social service, government services that go to that. But punishing the good landlords, that's going to have a negative effect, completely wrong effect. It's going to encourage good folks that stop spending money in Manchester. I send my best tenants to this town because it's a nice town and I like it. This town, you've talked to stabbings, gangs, crime. You gave out 566 traffic warnings with no income. Yet you've got too many tenants. This is not fair or reasonable. There's no phase-in. This is coming after COVID, and even by Washington DC standards, this is, I don't know how you can, and nobody thinks this is feasible or reasonable. We live in a benevolent society. You're all benevolent, good people. I've read your resumes, I've read your campaign promises, I've read what you've said, and you're all pillars, you want to be pillars of the community. But in a benevolent society, we share the cost of certain things. We help each other. I don't have kids in your public schools, but I want public schools, and I want them good. And I want to pay my fair share of taxes. I want the snow removed. I want the ice removed. I want fire protection, housing, police. Along with this, in a benevolent society comes housing for those that just aren't as fortunate as you and some of the folks in here that can own houses and can own investment properties. You've got to make some breaks for them, because all this is going to do is increase rents. It's going to send the bad tenants here. Somebody mentioned opioids this evening. The only people who can pay high rents are opioid addicts that can't go anywhere else. And that's we've rid every unit we have in this entire county of hookers, opioid addicts, drunks, and alcoholics. And I've gone out of my way. I've let things sit vacant for months and months to lose money to bring good people in. Guess what I'm going to do now? I have no option. You give me no choice but to, look for anybody I can find to fill it. There were many other solutions that you could do. I understand that none of the council or the mayor, none of you own investment properties. It's a business like a gas station or a lawn cutting service or the dentist or the restaurant. It's a business like anybody else's. And you need to work with the good business people to make them right. There are many, many things you can do. Someone here mentioned North One Liquors. I've tried to buy that building for 2 or 3 years. I've been through it from top to bottom. Who in the city is allowing that not to be condemned? Have you ever been in there and seen it? That building should have been condemned by this city years and years ago. I've tried to buy that laundromat. Those bad landlords they ask me for ridiculous prices. Ridiculous prices that I can't afford. Everything I've bought in Carroll County, and I shouldn't tell you this, but I don't even live in Carroll County, but everything I've bought I've improved and made look, and it looks beautiful. It looks as well as anybody else's home sitting up here or sitting out here. And this bill punishes me and punishes many others that want to go and help your county. How often did you meet, and this is the question, how often did you all meet with good landlords and ask them for their solution and what they would do? You all have the power to lien bad landlords. You have the power to condemn properties. You have the power to withhold licenses. You have a policeman who's come in here a couple times for cell phones. He can evict people. You have power to get the bad guys and then auction off those houses. Maybe good landlords like me would buy them at a reasonable price because there's so many liens on them and there's so many taxes and so many fines and fees. I'd buy them and I'd fix them up. But I can't go out and buy that laundromat. I looked at it a year ago before lightning ever hit it. 1 year ago and maybe 2 years ago even to look at it. But he wanted too much money for it. Aside from that, this sends entirely the wrong message to our society. This is almost prejudiced and bigoted against lower income people and those needing help in our society. You're sending a message that we don't want bums, we don't want poor people, we don't want anybody that's down on their luck and of lower income to Manchester. Listen, that's okay for your private home. It's okay for my private home. But there's still a town and city, and we live in a benevolent society, and this is sending the absolute wrong message with what you're doing here. It raises rents on the most vulnerable segment of society. That we have to raise our rents. We've got to go do this to the people that are in there. What are they going to do? They're going to move elsewhere. And who do you think is going to move in? Who do you think is going to pay it? This does nothing but discourage good landlords, and frankly, I'll go look elsewhere. I thought Carroll County, I retired from business 7 years ago and went in the real estate business. And I don't live in Carroll County. I looked all over Maryland to go where to invest. We sold a large family company, and I could have gone anywhere in the state of Maryland. And I came here because what was fair about it, what was good about it, and the people, and I liked it. And they're my kind of people. But this is exactly a discriminatory action against one class. And out of principle, it's wrong. These are the people who can least afford it, and you're going to see homeless people from this. You're going to see squeegee kids. Mark my words, it won't be this week, but it'll be a coming. It'll be a coming when you keep these type of mentality up, because it's going to change the nature of your Main Street and what people are doing. Now, there are many things that you can do to correct this. I would form a coalition or a committee of good landlords, city council people, housing people, or administrators to study it and come up with another solution. I have faced the worst of tenants and the worst of people, as I know this city has, and I think the administrator, you faced bad landlords, and you haven't been able to solve it. I have over 100 apartments in this county, and I've faced the dregs, and you wouldn't believe how I've solved it. And I've gone after it. I don't have anywhere near your resources, your power. I don't have the judge to evict. I don't have the police to evict. I don't have the ability to lien. And I've done it myself. I know how to do it. And you ought to form a coalition to study the issue. And when you auction a house, when the city orders the auction of a house, you'll make more money from the proceeds of that sale than you will from all these fines and fees that affects all the good landlords. And I would ask while we're here, and I don't want to point fingers, I'll look this way, but who in the heck let it get this far for all these years? I saw that 20 years ago was the last time you raised one fee. I look at my budgets every year. I put money away every year for a roof, for plumbing, for wiring, for XYZ. I'm financed through the federal government at Fannie Mae. They force me to do it, and they teach you how to do this. So somebody is, this should, you don't knee-jerk react like this and raise a fee 500 or 1,000%. It smacks of desperation. It smacks of alienation and unfairness. And honestly, it smacks of who's been watching the ship here, who's been managing this for the last 20 years, not to phase this thing in and have a process or a procedure. If you look at the other townships in this county, none of the other townships are doing this. I was supposed to be with the other delegate from up here this evening, but I came here, the House of Delegates person from up here this evening, but I came here instead, and we've been a little bit asleep at the switch here to have this happen. If you have problems that erupt today, you can't prevent the unforeseen when lightning strikes. You can use a lightning rod, but you can manage, and you can manage problems, and you can manage issues. And that's something that's not happened here, to have these prices go up that way. So I am curious. I would have personally done that laundromat in that North One building, and wish I could have. But I've moved on and have done other things.
All right, sir,
Thank you. I know my time's up.
No, you're good. I was going to say, if you got a final point, I was going to let you get to one.
Okay. I suggest you go to the good people and form put your motion on hold for 90 days that you've enacted, and form a committee of citizens, good landlords, council people, city people, and study it a little bit more in depth. I think landlords, none of which you ladies and gentlemen are, we're used to getting people out. Believe me, everyone in here has had a rotten, lousy tenant that is an opioid person, and we've had to work every form. Believe me, we have. So, thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to address a couple things real quick. Number one, I appreciate you coming up. I know it's a difficult thing to do to stand in front of everybody that's spoken so far. And as a business owner myself, and someone that's invested millions of dollars into the local community, I do understand what it's like to invest in the community. And we've had the debate amongst ourselves about some of these fees. And really what we decided to do is start investing in our town. I'm sure every one of you can see our Main Street district. I was on the council 10 years ago. We had the same sort of discussions. We really haven't made much progress in our Main Street jurisdiction. Improving our Main Street town. This particular fee, and this one fee that you're talking about, is in essence a $7.50 increase per unit per month. Whereas I guess you see the knee-jerk reaction, and the $200, it seems like a lot of money, but you stretch it over 2 years, But what it also allows the town to do, it allows the town to start investing back into the town itself, to sort of pay some of the expenses that the town encumbered by, maintaining a lot of the administrative costs, but also then that also frees up money to then invest into our Main Street district, which makes your properties more valuable, which makes the town a better place to live. I think those are some efforts and some things that our council now, and where this council is probably different from other councils, that, I'm one vote on this council, but I do think it's, as a business, it makes sense to start investing in our community a little bit more, to start investing in the Main Street jurisdiction, So that was the thought process behind this particular. Also, Manchester, just so you know, has the lowest property tax rates comparatively throughout the whole county. Really throughout the whole state.
Hold on, everybody. We're going to keep moving through this list. If you'd like to come up after we move through the list and address anything that hasn't been said or something that Councilman said, we'll have. It's difficult, and we can't capture everything if we have a debate back and forth. This name, again, kind of cursive, so whoever it is, please. Is it Brian or Braden? Last name begins with an L. Okay. Yeah, well, mine's not any better, but I didn't want to even take much of an attempt at this.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Brian Griffith. I represent Long Oak Property Management, and we're located in Westminster. We do have several properties here in Manchester. This increase will take me from paying $480 for my license fees to $4,800. And that is just astronomically ridiculous. I understand wanting to reinvest in Main Street, but not at the expense of all your landlords. Property investment, rental properties, everybody out there thinks the landlords are rich as can be and got money flowing in, and that's not the way it happens. It's a tight project, and there is not room at all for a 1,000% increase in a fee. There's a lot of other places to find that money other than the pockets of the landlord. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is it Sandra Davidson?
I have nothing else to add other than what has already been said.
Okay, thank you. Anyone that did not sign up or didn't speak that would like to come up, do you mind coming up and then if anybody else after, if you raise your hand, we'll call on you.
I must have missed something because I didn't get my name called. Was I supposed to sign something or?
Well, there was a
Doug
sign-up sheet to fit. You have the floor now, if you don't mind stating your name. And
okay, my question is, I'm hard of hearing, but Mr. Richardson over there, what is the specific reasons again for raising this from $20 to $200? What's the specific reason other than Main Street Hempstead, Main Street Manchester?
Well, I guess the specific reason is to cover the administrative costs that are incurred from the town to free up costs to invest in other areas. So much of the administrative cost for the 300, is it? Let me see, 334 units.
Yes, 334.
And these fees, as I said, would subsidize, Main Street improvements and other improvements to invest in the town of Manchester to improve, to hopefully with the intention of increasing the value of some of these properties. I think in the current state of our Main Street, which hasn't really improved much over the past decade, 15 years or so, this would allow us to start investing in our town and to increase the property values as well, so.
Well, I agree with the one gentleman was up here. You have rules and regulations, and if you have a bad tenant, you have ways to get him out, her out. But don't the town have some regulations to control bad landlords, slum landlords, other situations like this, is letting the property deteriorate? It's not fair for the good landlord to be increased like this when he keeps his properties in top condition and the property's not even on Main Street. So somebody, like he said, had a knee-jerk decision here. Now the question is, stimulus money. Did the town get any stimulus money?
Yes,
Yep.
we did.
Yes. What has that been used for?
We just received our first ARPA check, and that's slated for infrastructure repair. We have an aging infrastructure in town, Doug, and the first project the Director of Public Works talked about is a water main replacement project around New Street, High Street, Wirtz Avenue, Maiden Lane, and Grafton Street. After that, we have additional infrastructure projects that need to be taken care of.
Well, the question is, when you're increasing all these fees, your impact fees, $25,000 to build a house, right?
That is correct.
25,000. Other towns I know is 3,500 or less. It's like you don't want people to come into your town.
Yes, that's right.
So, if someone's going to build a new house and they're going to pay $25,000, and they have a rental unit down the street with 2 units, that's increases substantially. You hit them at both ends. It doesn't make sense to me. I think, like the gentleman said, you need to have a coalition here. You need a group to get together and discuss really what this is all about. There's got to be some other avenue than to put fees on people. We got to pass this along to our tenant. And these are elderly tenants. These are widows. These are people that can't afford any more money. I've got my rents under the market because I've got good people and I don't want them to leave. But if, like he said, if you run background checks and so forth on these people, and you evict someone, you may, to get a good tenant back in there, you may have a vacancy for 2 or 3 or 4 months. What do we do there? We're losing money. I think you need to consider what you did.
All right, thank you. Anybody else that hasn't spoken tonight that would like to speak on the record? I'll get to you in 1 second, Mr. All right, so there's no one else that hasn't spoken that would like to speak? All right, Mr. Burke, if you can, I'll give you another minute if you have something new. I need you to come up, though, because...
We posed some questions. Here, this gentleman's posed questions, I've posed questions. Can the council...
do you mind coming up? I just...
Okay.
If you go back and watch one of these, it's hard. I have my microphone off, too. I miss...
So this sounds like a nice complaint session, where everybody's complaining and everybody's staring at us. But we've asked questions, I've asked questions, and they deserve answers. Will we get answers from these, or how does that work?
So this really isn't like a debate type format.
Right.
We open up, let people speak their piece, and
you stare at
come up with that. Well, I don't.
Okay.
A debate probably isn't healthy anyway.
Okay.
If there's a good question we can answer, again, this is something. This was introduced last month, or this is
No,
just.
this was voted on last month.
Okay. So, I mean, I guess if there's a specific question that somebody can answer.
None of you are in the landlord business, and it's to improve Main Street. That's a great idea. I'd like to help. I'd love to invest in Main Street if given the opportunity or included. And you've told me that there is a disproportionate amount of city and town resources go to the rental people. And I've brought back to you the issues of we live in a benevolent society. Okay. And you make exceptions for children, for food, for healthcare, and for housing for people. You can't, I mean, if you just want to go do that, you're asking for trouble down the road.
In the interest of moving the discussion along, if you have a question or something new,
I would like answers. I would like answers to the questions that have been posed here. That is my question. And someone said administrative costs and to fix up Main Street, and there are solutions for that. We've asked for this ordinance to make a stay on it for 90 days and bring in a citizen committee, a landlord committee. None of you are the landlord business. I don't know what you do professionally, but I'm not going to tell you your jobs. We are in the landlord business. We know it, and we know exactly how to fix this and what to do. You have no one in the landlord business helping you to do this. I would go back to the drawing board, put it on hold. There's no harm in that. Put it on hold, go back to the drawing board for 90 days, come up with an alternative proposal, or maybe it's the same proposal. Maybe the landlords are all wrong, and we got to go with what you say. But somebody in the city told me, "Oh, you're making so much money on your buildings." You have no idea, since you're not in the landlord business, how tight it is to be a landlord. Assessments go up, insurance has gone up, utilities have gone up. We didn't get, the courts were closed for evictions with rent. People stayed home and just didn't pay rent. The government gave them salaries not to work, but they sure didn't pay it in rent. The mortgages, and heaven forbid if you've bought a building, and most of my buildings are in the last few years. So I have paid near the top of the market. I have no capital gain in my buildings. If I sold them today, after expenses, commissions, I'll break even. So I'd love to get the heck out of Carroll County if this is how they're gonna operate.
Is there a question?
Yes, I would like you to consider a stay, please, for 90 days. Put your motion on a stay, and then appoint a committee. I'll be willing to help with it. Other landlords would, and come back with a council, landlord, and a city proposal. Include some community neighborhood groups in it.
I'll try to word the question. I think the question is, I don't have a vote and I don't make motions.
Okay.
The question is, does anybody on the council wish to make a motion to change what was voted on last month or create a stay?
Well, here's what I could say. I think you bring up a good point. I'm happy to lead an effort. If we can get some landlords in here in the next week or so, let's discuss it, because I think we have some grave concerns that we have by our Main Street district, and a lot of our Main Street dilapidation is unkept rental units. If we can, as a group, come together to figure out how to attack some of these challenges that may not that can attack this a different way than raising this money to have some of these Main Street initiatives enacted, I'm more than willing, and I'd be more than willing to make a motion at a future meeting to revise some of these fees. But I'd like to put that together with the community and get involvement, and not just get involvement when you see something, but get involved. I'd be more than happy to lead that effort and have something next week, or informally amongst some landlords, and we can put our heads together to try to figure out ways to attack some of these problems, because the dilapidation on Main Street affects your properties, affects your property values. We have to address that as a town, as a community. And this was an idea that this council had as a way to address that. If you have some other ideas, we'd love to hear from them.
We're the property business, and the good landlords fix them up to maintain them.
So I'd love to have that discussion, and I'd love to, on an informal basis, get together some people, perhaps next week here in town.
David, can I cut inside? I just want to address them. There's a lot of people just kind of throwing things out. So it's not just Main Street. We have a lot of rental properties that are now in neighborhoods. And it's not just administrative costs. As you can imagine, we're talking about $100 a year. You can imagine if we're trying to do our job, which is also to represent and protect everybody's interest. The minute we have to go to a lawyer to address one of these things, how many of these rental fees get eaten up with one property, with one instance with a lawyer trying to fix something? Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
it's a lot. So it's not just like the stamps and the envelopes.
So we have problems, and we have problems that need to address. And you know what? If community members want to be a part of that, to put our heads together to brainstorm, I say let's do it, and I'm happy to be a part of that.
So,
Thank you.
I hope we have the same participation and the same attendance for something.
I think the challenge from our perspective, I'm just being frank, is, I hear what you're saying, and if I were to summarize it, it's, this is eating either into what you're doing is your business, right? I'm not in that same business. And if we're saying, that those funds are then gonna be used to fix up Main Street, you're saying, well, don't fix up Main Street on our backs. Fair enough, right? I think that's a fair statement. At the same time, we're struggling to hold things, where they are as much as they can for all of our residents, and then so other residents come in and say, hey, look, my street used to be all homeowners, and now it's 50% renters. They're not keeping up, and then they come and they call here and they say, I need you to go fix this. And so that costs money. So,
Sure.
so from their perspective, they're saying, hey, don't fix this rental problem on our backs. Make the business owners that are doing it bear the cost of that. So, and I'm not saying one's right or the other. I'm saying that those are two competing priorities, and it's our job to be as fair as we
But
can to everybody.
100% of the people here would like to see an improved Main Street. I would like to see it very, very, very much. I've got to ask the question, how did it ever get this bad? And that's, I don't want to put anybody on the spot
Also
here,
a
but-
fair question. Yeah, I don't think, we can't get to the bottom of that one today.
Right,
My
but-
response would be, sounds like you're in a lot of places. Manchester's doing a lot better than a lot of places, given our challenges. I would say the statistics would show that we are.
May I ask a clarifying question in regards to Councilperson Richardson's comment about a meeting? Where will we fall in the open meeting laws as far as turnaround? I don't want to find us in a stuck position as far as informally 100%, that's fine, but I just don't want to find us as a town in violation of open meetings
They can be open meetings, it's fine, I think.
within a certain amount, like, don't we have a certain amount of time? Do they have to be publicized, recorded in that kind of situation?
If it's more than three or more council members present, it has to be advertised. So, I don't think it's any length of time, to be advertised, but, and we can advertise it on our cable TV channel, Facebook, anything like that, yes.
That's my understanding too.
Yes.
And I just went to the training today.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, we value your input, and we want your input, and we want your ideas. But we do have challenges that we have to meet, and let's have the discussion. And then,
Thank you. Can someone get back to the Carroll County Landlords Association? That's the lobby group that contacts. That would be I guess the conduit to go to the
Yeah, I'll do
Carroll
it.
County.
Unless he wants to do it.
David, do you want to make a motion? I mean, using my words, put a stay and we'll go back. Now,
well, these fees go into effect.
Fees are already out. The bills went out, and that's why we have the crowd here tonight.
Right.
They went out October 1st, so.
For when are they due?
Well, the first phase is due, I think, before November 1st, I think. And then it increases again, I believe, so.
All right, well, can we make a simple motion to put a stay on this and revisit it within the next several weeks? Something to that effect. I mean, we have a lot of concerned citizens here, and we owe them
December 31st,
to listen.
and then if paid by January 31st, it increases again, so it's till December 31st.
So, what would you recommend? Would you recommend to leave them in place, and then if we want to address it at the next council meeting?
Well, we already have the bills out. We're getting some money back. It would have to be, if there was a change, it would have to be reimbursed back.
yeah, so
I mean,
that's again creating
Yeah.
an administrative nightmare if we have fees that are in. Because if we undo it, then we have to return
I'm
those.
okay
and collect them
keeping it,
again.
and then we have the discussion. If we have other things to present, we've got the next council meeting, we can bring them
Could
to
always give them a credit for the.
I mean, if we come up with an idea, we come up with something, we can address it
Yeah,
next council
so,
meeting.
stay is the wrong word, I think.
Yes.
Make a motion to have a discussion, and if some people want to participate in a discussion, and then go from there, if a different conclusion is reached.
Yeah, if we have some
so,
ideas
I'm
next
happy
council
to-
meeting,
Yeah.
I'm happy to bring them, and I'm happy to make the motion next council meeting, so. If we have some,
Well, do you want to make a motion to,
I don't think we need a motion. I don't think we need a motion.
Well, we have a motion.
I don't think we have a motion.
Yeah, no second. There was no second. Yeah. I think we're okay, and then I'll meet with with a group.
Who from this group does it make sense to participate? We're gonna need staff, so you have to coordinate with with Steve and with Kelly, because we have to understand the number side of it.
Yeah,
as
oh,
well.
definitely.
I'd be happy to, I can
Myself, Kelly, Michelle, and Chief.
Okay. And I'm
And
happy
then-
to represent
and then
the
why don't we
council, and
grab-
anybody else wants
Dave,
to.
I
why
can,
don't-
I can go.
Chris, you
And
want to?
depending on when.
Okay. That works.
So let's get at least two, could be David and Chris, and if anybody else wants to join, I don't want to keep anybody out, but if anybody else joins, then we'll have to advertise.
Do we have the numbers from the other municipalities about what they're charging?
I can get them.
I think we did look at them at
Oh,
one
we
point,
did,
months ago.
So that's what we'll do. Before our next council meeting, we'll get together a group, and Doug, you're a friend of mine, we'll definitely reach out, and maybe we can lead a little effort and see what we can come up with. If we have a proposal, I'll lead the proposal at our next council meeting. How about that?
All right.
That works.
All right, I'll ask one more time. Is there anybody that, on a different issue? I think we are where we're going to get on this one for this evening. Any other issues before we move on to committee reports? All right, hearing none, we'll go. We're going to have to get these rearranged so they're in order. I love going in order. So we'll start. Councilman Cuneo, planning, zoning, capital projects.
Met with the Planning and Zoning Commission last month, and we discussed the solar farm, or the solar project that's going on up on Graphene Street. That was the crux of it, just kind of reviewed the plans and had some questions, and they're gonna come back again with some answers for the questions we had, so, that was it.
Okay. Councilwoman Miller.
So I am still in search of a youth representative. We do not have someone yet to fill the spot. The couple people that I've reached out to appreciated the offer, but just with their schedules, it's not going to work. And I have reached out to Manchester Elementary School, Mrs. Smith, the art teacher over there. Her students, she's very interested in getting back into a more normal routine for decorating our town tree in front of Old Town Hall, as they have in years past. Last year was rough, and we had a drop-in kind of decoration type thing. So she's sounds to be on board, and hopefully her students will be able to decorate and create the decorations and hopefully hang them for us.
Very good. So, and we talked earlier at the beginning, I did fulfill the requirement for the.
Yep, we're on board for Banner City for this year.
We're on target. And then when you talk to the folks at Manchester Elementary, I don't have the same kind of context that I do at Valley, but if they're interested in having one of us come in or having me come in and do the if I were mayor contest, I'm happy to go in there.
Well, it's nice this year. I'm in fourth grade, so I have a better idea of when in their curriculum
Okay.
they're doing that. So I.
It's typically in the spring.
Yeah, that's usually what my teammates have said. They
Yeah,
usually do
March,
in the spring.
April usually. Yeah. All right, Councilman Michelli.
The North Carroll Business Alliance is gaining in momentum. On the 9th of October, they had their Harvest Holiday Gala. It was a fundraiser for scholarships for Manchester Valley High School. Unfortunately, I was unable to attend, so I don't know how well it was, but they're becoming increasingly visible in the community, and I think that's a good thing.
Very good. Councilwoman Howe.
As the chief has already said, excuse my voice, Charlotte's Quest is having the Haunted Woods Trail on the October 15th and 16th. That's Friday and Saturday, from 7 to 10 p.m. And they're the scary trails. And then on Saturday and Sunday, the 16th and 17th, it's Halloween fun trails with fall festival activities for the younger kids. There are some flyers at the front desk when you come in, and you can get your tickets online.
Councilman Richardson.
Sure. We talked about it earlier in the town administrator's report. Steve and I are going to push forward with an effort, hopefully to develop a town email list. And, I'd really like to see a town alert system, a text alert system as well. So Steve and I are going to get together. Steve, we're going to do it for the next council meeting. How about that? We'll make it happen.
That'll be good.
All right. And we'll try to get something off the ground here soon for that. So.
Very good. All right, anything else for this group? Hearing none, entertain a motion to adjourn. Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, good night.